what's going on? You want to take a second to introduce yourself?
Yeah. How you doing? My name's Twan. They call me Twan. I was born in Greenville, South Carolina originally, but I'm Durhamite all day. Cause I've been here since I was 2 years old, so I'm Bull City in my heart, to the heart.
So you was raised in Bull City?
Yeah, I was raised right here in Durham.
What was that like, Styles?
Oh man, it was Bull City. Like coming from Durham, man. It was good. It was good growing up. Coming out of the projects in Few Gardens. It was one of the roughest projects that was in Durham. But a lot of people used to be, used to talk bad about Few Gardens. But man, I had the most fun, growing up over there. You know what I mean? Always till I was 15 years old, and then ended up moving to High Street, which was my mom stepped the game up. You know what I'm saying? Moved us to a better area, which we call 1200. You know what I'm saying? Cause everybody, it was like a family over there. It was like growing up with, and plus their parents worked too. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't on we weren't on welfare no more. You know what I mean? So my mom stepped the game up and moved us away. But I still went over there almost every day. Cause all my friends still there. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
You start getting in trouble when you were younger?
Yeah, I must say, I didn't want to call it like they call the black sheep. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I want to say it like put it like that. But yeah, I hanging out with the wrong crowd. But they still good people because I'm still friends with a lot of them, and then a lot of them not here, and then some of them just ain't no good for you. You feel me? You know what I mean? Like they'll show who their real colors, their true colors as time go on. You know what I mean?
So you're in recovery today, is that right?
Right.
Okay. How long you been in recovery?
Oh, what, 16 years now?
16 years?
Yeah, it's been 16 years.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah.
And how long were you in addiction before you decided to move towards recovery?
20 years. I'm gonna say 20 years. I believe I started back when I was 20, 21, somewhere around there. I used to go with this girl. She was way older than me. I was like 19, she was like 26, and cause I usually wouldn't even deal with no woman who indulged in drugs. So, but I was in love. I was becoming a man, and with her, I heard the rumor she was doing it, and you couldn't tell me that, cause she didn't carry herself like that. So, good close friends used to tell me, yeah, that's what she doing. You feel me? So, I kind of went and tested it, and bought some just to, and put it in front of her, to see, is it true? You feel me? So when she hit it, I took it I hit right behind her, you know what I'm saying? Next thing I know, I'm selling teddy bears and everything. I'm selling everything. I'm addicted, you feel me? Yeah, I'm in addiction, yeah.
So your addiction started around 19, 20 years old?
19, 20, yeah.
Okay. What was life like? What was life like for you in addiction?
How was it for me? It was more sort of like I was working to get to pay for my expense, but cause I always had a job. I always had a job ever since my first daughter was born. My mom made me, get to work for me. I was at the age of 15 when my first child was born. Okay. So, I had to go to work.
Okay.
For my mama. And so it was like it was fun at one point. Okay. At one point in time it was fun. You understand, you know what I mean? And you can still maintain, you can still keep yourself dressing nice. You know what I mean? But it eventually it's gonna catch up with you and put you in a bad space, in a bad rut, in a hole, and all that. Basically.
So you said you had your first child at 15.
Yeah.
You went to work from there.
Yeah. I had to get a work permit. Yeah.
So being that you're in recovery, like what happened? What happened? When did it get bad enough for you to start to decide that, hey, I need some help, I need some treatment for this?
Well, it got to that point probably when losing jobs and staying at my mama's house, and let me see, I started stealing. I started stealing, taking for the people who were closest to me, which is my family, my sister, my brothers, my mama. I was stealing, and got to a point, where my mama put me out. You feel me? I wouldn't have nowhere to go, But luckily, I had a close brother, a partner of mine. Call him my brother. His name was, and I stayed at his house. His mom would let me stay there. So I had a roof over my head one way or another. But my mom, I used to go back to my mom's house. She'll let me probably, come take a shower and give me something to eat. But I had to go after that. I couldn't stay there because I wasn't trustworthy. You know what I mean? So, I went through that stage like that. Yeah.
And you had at this time you had your daughter. You already had your daughter. What was going on with you and her mom, or you and your child at that time?
Well, her grandmother had custody of her cause we both were young. I was 15, she was 14, the mom was 14.
Oh, okay.
So the grandmother had custody, and she, she used to go against the grain because I had to start paying child support like at 17. So, and back then the court system was a lot different too. They would work with you. The counselor, the people who do the court, they trying to get the best out of the man now. But so every job I would have, it would come out my check.
Okay.
And if I was switch over to another job, I just let child support people know, and they'll just transfer it, and so it'll come out my check. It wasn't that much, but it was holding me down until like and then I used to also have my daughter. I kept my daughter around me at the time until like I said, until I got a little older, when I kind of met the lady I was telling you about when I first got started with, and that kind of faded me away from her a little bit, what I mean? So and plus I was young, I wasn't the best, I was young, I was still trying to have fun at the time, you know what I mean? So.
So what year did you first go to treatment? Or what year did you first go to treatment?
2002. 2002 was my first. I had to, and I went really because I had nowhere to go. I'm walking the streets. I'm gonna tell you a hurting feeling when you call your mama in the middle of the night. You just walking the street, and she raised us better. I had a lot of pride not to go to the shelter. You know what I'm saying? So I would just walk all night on the street, and to the damn my feet used to stink like a motherfucker. If I take my socks off and shit, cause I just used to walk all night. You know what I mean? And so I decided I seen this program, Trocha. I seen Trocha. I seen the truck, and I said I moved furniture. I've been moving furniture for 26 years, so I thought it was a moving company. To be honest with you, I didn't realize it was a rehab. You feel me? And but then they accepted me. They accepted me in, and then they put me in a good space. At the time, because I wasn't on the street no more. You know what I'm saying? I had a roof on my head, and they were feeding me. You know what I mean? So I took advantage of that. But and that's what it was. I was in the program. So it's like things started to change for me. I started to feel better about myself because I'm a little clean and sober now. You know what I mean? I'm doing good at the time.